All right. So it is 7:05 and let's get started today. All right. So good morning, everyone. And before we start today, let's observe a few seconds, maybe of a silence, like just gently close our eyes and we'll observe a silence for a few seconds. That's all. All right. You can relax and be here right now. You can come back. So today, what we are going to look at is so primarily we will discuss about sacred geometry briefly, not too many details, but briefly to understand that how we have inner stillness already within us, and how we evolved from a single consciousness which expanded and then manifested into everything that what we see and what we perceive, and how to be in the state of stillness. So before we get into sacred geometry, let's quickly look into the problems that we face every single day, right? So every day that we run our life through different ways, the different challenges comes every day. And there is a very profound quote by Albert Einstein that goes like, the significant problem we face cannot be solved at the same state at which we created them. Again, I repeat that. The significant problems we face today cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. So most of us, we want to find a solution from wherever we are, from our old existing belief and the same perspectives. We try to find out what solution that we can come across and how we can solve the problem. But however, the problems lies in a different perspective. So to understand about perspective, there is one quick thing that I generally do with my son. That is, when we have a conversation, whenever I have a conversation with my son, I tell him that if you want to get again a different perspective, either you have to go outwards or you have to go inwards. And for a kid, I cannot tell him all the philosophical context to it. But then all I tell him is, if you have to look outwards, you have to buy a telescope. I'll buy you a telescope and look at the whole cosmos, in the whole universe, all the planets, stars, moon, and everything in that. That way, whatever the situation that you feel at this moment, that becomes insignificant, right? Whatever the thing, and then you get a different perspective when you look at from the cosmic perspective. And also the other way to look at the whole universe to understand a perspective, gain a different perspective is go inwards. That is by using a microscope, right? They say that there is macrocosm and microcosm. The macrocosm is outwards, the whole of cosmic nature, the universe that we perceive, the planets and black holes, galaxies, and everything is a macrocosm, where the microcosm is within us. That is every single thing that what we can feel within us. So to give you an example, we see that our individual self as a whole being, that is we made up of, say, organs, like in all the internal organs. It can be heart, kidney, and liver, skin, and everything. And if you just break it down, you will all we see is we talk about cells. And further down, the cells become molecules, and the molecules become atoms. So one common thing across the whole universe, it is nothing but atoms. It's the atoms everywhere, right? That is the smallest thing. And of course, the science, they broke into an atom and then they found different particles. However, let's stick with atom. That is whatever that we observe in the whole universe. It is made up of matter, which is atoms. And also, I'm sure that some of you must have heard before that the 99.999, say maybe 1096% of the atom is emptiness. That is nothing but an empty space within an atom, right? So to give you a perspective, They say that the nucleus of an atom, it is like a peanut. If the peanut, if you keep it in the middle of a football field, the football field is an atom. So that is 100,000 times bigger. I mean, the atom is 100,000 times bigger than a nucleus, which is the proton and neutron is made up of, or which is the nucleus part of it. So the rest is like, it is very, very emptiness and stillness, and there is a space. And the same thing is what applicable to the whole of universe that what we observe. When I say that, just as per the science, like the observable universe, it is just 4%. All the galaxies put together, all the planets, all the stars, whatever that you see in observable universe, it is nothing but just 4%. The rest all is nothing beyond like, dark matters and dark energy. It is filled with it. And even the science cannot understand, or they cannot even detect to understand what it is. It is unexplainable and unresearchable, right? At this moment, obviously the science will evolve and they will also find their own way of exploring things. At this moment, it is just 4%. So rest all, it is nothing but emptiness and stillness around us. So that being said, today what we are trying to do, it is to connect with that emptiness, the space which we are filled with, which is already there, right? All within us, which is already there, and try to relate that with sacred geometry. So for that, like, how I wanted to approach this with sacred geometry is the sacred geometry itself is a very deep subject to it, right? There are a lot of things, and I don't want to go into every single details of it because there will be too many information that would start building up, right? So if you are interested, obviously I will share the link. You can go ahead. But for this purpose of our exercise and today's session, what we will do is I'll open up the sacred geometry, that painting that what you see behind me. There's the same painting I will open up. I'll quickly run through what it is and how it is formed and why it is called sacred geometry, and give you a little bit of a background so that you understand in what context that I'm relating this with. So without any delay again, so let me quickly share the screen and go into sacred geometry. I'll just give me a moment. I will quickly open up the picture and share it with you. Give me a minute. All right. Okay. So are you seeing that picture? All right. So, and also like, I just want to confirm, are you able to see the cursor in this? Are you able to see the cursor? Okay,
Yes.
awesome. Great.
Yeah.
So just imagine for this moment, like, this canvas, like, this painting doesn't exist, right? So there is obviously, this is my first picture of sacred geometry, which I painted in 2015. And I was an amateur. I mean, I was just getting started and etc. And this picture profoundly impacted me in a different ways, right? It kind of made me look life in a very different perspective. And that's why they say that when it comes to sacred geometry, it is more important that, instead of seeing it, you should also experience by drawing it. Take a compass, take a paper, and then try to draw this pattern of flower of life. So that will give you a profound understanding of it. So with that being said, for a moment, imagine that this canvas is completely blank. There is nothing exists in this whole canvas, right? Except the where my cursor is, right? So just imagine that cursor right now, whatever you see here. So that is a kind of a consciousness. They say the consciousness, which is a pure consciousness, which doesn't have any form. There is no time, there is no space, there is nothing to relate to it. There is nothing, there is complete nothingness, right? There's nothing to compare it with. There is no manifestation yet, right? So that is a moment, a consciousness, where here it cannot fall down because there is no place to fall. It cannot compete with something. It cannot do anything because there is nothing exist beyond that one single consciousness. And one point in time, the consciousness desired to expand, right? So when I say expand, that is what the first circle here, what you see. That is from, if you're taking a compass, you will draw this first circle here, right here. You can track the movement, right? So the first circle comes out of the consciousness desire to expand. And when you're talking about the consciousness here, this is what the expansion is, what in religion they talk about, like, in the beginning there was nothing, and then there came a light, or God created it. Or in a science, we call it as Big Bang that happened, which started manifesting from a very small place. Everything that is what we see and observe and whoever we are, we started manifesting in this world. So that is the first expansion. So what the consciousness from here it does is, like, it just moved to the extreme of that circle. First it made one circle. Now from here it makes another circle. That's a second. So from here again it moves to the interaction or the interjunction between the two circles. What is the other word? Yeah. From that place again it expands, like, from here this circle forms. So likewise, it expands one at a time, and it completes 7 circles, right? So the first 7 circles, one, two, the first is this circle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry, 1, 2. It's very difficult for me to even look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the 7 circles. And that is another way in a religion context. They say that in Christianity, especially, they talk about 7 days of creation, right? So it's a 7 days of creation, and the petals that you see, that forms a petal sign. Like, here what you see as the flower of life, that these are petals that you see. So this is what it's essentially what you're talking about at a seed of life. The first level of expansion is called seed of life. From this moment, I will quickly open up the other picture, which is supposed to be, which is my tattoo right now. And I wanted to explain with that as well. So just give me a minute quickly. Stop sharing and share once more. Yeah. Share. Yeah. I believe this picture is, you're able to see this, right? Yes, so you're able to see this picture?
Yes, Karthik.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. So this is a little complicated, but then, like, so to understand this, I don't want to talk too much about it, and I just will share a video link. There is someone who explains it much better than me, and you can watch that video, get an understanding of what are the things I try to get it done in my tattoo, right? So, however, to simplify this conversation, so there is a consciousness which expands and then forms this 7 circle, the 6 circles here, and then, like, there is a middle one, the 1 circle. So that is called seed of life. From the seed of life, it expands and then makes an expansion. It is like, an infinite expansion can happen through this pattern. And what happens after, like, the 2 steps, that is a 19 circles, like, all these circles put together, this, whatever the shapes that you see here, it is called fruit of life, right? So when I say fruit of life, as per science as well, like, in the periodic table, all the elements that what we see, it is made up of all these cubes. The signs that you see here are all called platonic solids. The first one is, of course, is a sphere, which is nothing but a void. And then comes a cube, which you're familiar with, that the whole understanding is, for the platonic solid, there are few rules, of course, like, all the sides has to be the same shape, as well as the same length and width, and everything has to be the same. And these are all called like dodecahedron, tetrahedron, and etc. Like, all those things. And these things also represent different elements of life. Like, it can be fire, water, air, earth, energy, void, and everything comes from these elements. So this is a manifestation, right? So how from one single place, when there is nothing exists, consciousness decided to expand, and then it starts forming the manifested world. That is what a symbolic way of representing with sacred geometry. And this symbol, for the matter, you can see it everywhere in the whole world. In the ancient times, be it India, China, Tibet, Greece, or any other place, Ireland, Mayan culture, or Egypt, anywhere. All the signs that you would see is this will all comes back to this. So for our session today, what we're going to understand and what we're going to practice is, it's primarily before all this manifestation that happened in this world, before all the planets, stars, you and me, and the whole of Earth, there is one consciousness. We try today to go to that place of being one with that single consciousness or single being. There is no one else to compare, just we being that single consciousness. So that is going to be our practice for today. And with that being said, we will get into that, the practice itself. So I don't want to give you more information on this. So let's move towards the practice now. I'm closing here. Okay, awesome. So essentially what we looked until this point is, any problem that we face in our life, to change our perspective, either we have to go outwards or inwards. And either way that we see in the world, it can be an atom or the whole cosmos. It is nothing, but mostly it is filled with emptiness, and there is a space. And the space is nothing but of a space of silence. And then when we're talking about all the manifestation, it's all started with one single place of one consciousness desire to expand. And this exercise, we're going to connect with that consciousness and the vast space and that we can experience right now. So if you're ready, we can go into the practice for another few minutes. Are we ready? All right. So, yep. So to get started, make yourself comfortable now. Wherever you are, it's fine. You're sitting, you're on the floor, chair, you're on the bed. It's absolutely fine. Wherever you are, it's absolutely fine. Make yourself comfortable. Take a few deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale through your mouth. Take a deep breath and exhale. Inhale and exhale. When you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. So as you are in the space of closed eyes, you experience some part of a stillness already within you. From this place, observe your body. Just bring your breath to the normal rhythm that is always it is. Just bring it back to the normal rhythm. And gently scan through your body from head to toe. If there is any discomfort, just relax. Just tell your body, you can just relax right now. Just ask it to relax. And look for any kind of a sensation that you feel in your body. It can be any sensation. It can be trickling, or it is a warm, or it can be any sensation. Gently acknowledge that sensation. Observe your emotions and feelings and a state of being at this moment. Whatever the state it is, whatever the emotion that you feel, whatever the feeling it is, just gently acknowledge it is okay to be in this state. Finally, when it comes to thoughts, observe your thoughts as well. Acknowledge the thoughts. It's fine to have thoughts. You don't have to control it. Just allow it to be there. Just like the ripples, it will be there and it settles down automatically. Try to be in this place of stillness by acknowledging your own self. From this place of stillness, gently try to step out of your body. Just try to step out of your body as in an imaginary way. Just take a step outside of your body. Just imagine you're seeing yourself from a third person perspective. Like, you're out of your body. See yourself, whoever you are, wherever you're sitting, just see that person from outside of your body. Just notice the person who you are from without your body, and now you become so light. And you're ready to travel anywhere that you want to be in, because the body is the only limitation that holds you back and makes you as a physically as a prisoner within your body. Now you stepped out of your body and you're ready to experience the world and single consciousness, which is one with everything. From this place, you out of your body, just walk out gently to the door of your house. Wherever you are, just walk out to the open space. Just imagine you're right there. Right now, when you're under the sky, when there is nothing else, there is no body to hold you back. Now you feel the lightness within you. There is a lightness because you let go of your body at this moment. And there is a lightness because you let go of all the sensation and etc. Now you're so free to float in the air. You're so light and so weightless. And then with that weightless state, you start floating. Just imagine that you're floating in the air. You're so light at this moment. As you float in the air upwards, all you start seeing is the house, the cars, the people, and everything that you see, it is giving a different perspective to you. You're seeing them as a small objects, which is no more significant in your life or is no more significant things. It's all started looking and becoming small and small as you go upwards. At this moment, you reach a place where it is of outer atmosphere of the earth. So from this place of outer atmosphere, you see the whole earth. You can see the curving of the earth from this moment. Take a moment right now to see and witness the whole earth, how it curves, and the whole of earth as a whole that you can see at this moment. Now you go further up. And now with your supervision that you can see the entire solar system that we are part of, that you can observe, and then you can visualize the solar system that we are part of right there in front of your eyes. You can turn around 360-degree. There is no limitation to you. It is just that you can observe the whole of solar system. And then further, you go deeper into the space. Now the next destination is, it's a kind of a Milky Way, our own galaxy, that you can see the Milky Way galaxy from an outsider. Right now, there is no limitation. So you can visualize the galaxy, which is beyond anything. And then you can see that right in front of you. Just be there for a moment and observe the Milky Way. Now it is time to let go of any association with all the things, the materialistic things, the world and the planets and galaxies and stars. Now it's time to go into a space of a deep space where you don't see anything. There is absolutely nothing. There is complete darkness. There's a complete silence. There is complete stillness. Just visualize you are in a deep space. It's a complete darkness and stillness and silence. In this place, there is no space, there is no time, because you are the one single consciousness which manifested into everything what the world sees and experiences at this time. Everything, everyone, and every being is nothing but the manifestation of your consciousness at this moment. And there is no thing or nothing is manifested yet. You're the only pure consciousness which is floating in the deep sky and deep space. With this intelligence, be there for a moment. Be there as an ultimate pure consciousness. Observe the stillness from this place. Be there. Now, you being that first consciousness, which is limitless and which is full of power and energy and manifestation power. At this moment, with your pure consciousness, you decide to expand like the first circle in flower of life. It's time to expand. You see yourself, the light that is expands all around you in 360 degree as a first circle. And now you as a consciousness, you know how to manifest the whole thing because you're the ultimate consciousness. You have all the energy that is needed, all the potential, all the intelligence, and all the knowledge to manifest. So just like flower of life, start manifesting. Start coming out and manifest in all the direction possible. Expand. Start expanding from one circle to the other to the other. Bring the picture of flower of life and guide you through how the pattern of expansion is. And as you expand, you realize that everything that manifested, it is through your intelligence and your consciousness. And now you start seeing coming back all the planets, all the stars, all of the observable universe, all of the atom and matters, you are manifesting into it. And as you being the manifestation being, now come back to our earth. Now you see the planet named Earth and you decided to come here. Stay in the outer atmosphere again. Just glimpse, have a good look at the Earth that you want to come back into. Now you decided to get back home. It's time to go back home now. So now you decided to descend. You come down as a being and you start seeing all the things coming back to life. It can be your house, it can be the people, It can be the things, the planets and the plants and trees and everything, all coming back to life, and it's becoming bigger and bigger and taking shape. You're getting closer and closer. Now you land back to the earth, and it's time to go back to your own body and you witness who you are and lead the life from the person who you are with the awareness and consciousness that you are the pure consciousness which expanded into everything. Just walk in, again, take a moment to see yourself from the distance from your body. Now, with all the acceptance and acknowledgement to the body, you desire to step into your body. As you step in, you are still in the place of stillness. What you witnessed without any space and time and being a pure consciousness, that stillness, that is emptiness, the space and silence is all within you at this moment. With that consciousness, now it's time to get back and bring back the awareness to your body at this moment. Feel the sensations, what you feel in your body. Notice if there is any sound around you in your place. Notice any sensation. With that awareness of everything coming back to you, all your body, your senses, your thoughts, your mind, your feeling, and emotion, and you become a whole being once again. With this whole being, you still carry the stillness, what we witnessed just some time back. Keep the stillness. With that place of stillness and silence, you may open your eyes when you're ready. So I believe everyone is back to this session and back to the class. All right. Thank you so much. Even I had a wonderful experience guiding you through this exercise. So with this exercise, just it's very important that, whatever the emotions, whatever the feeling that you felt, like, when you felt the inner stillness and when you see or saw yourself as a one consciousness, it is important to carry that feeling or the sense which is within you all the time, right? That is a reference point for you, right? The reference point is yesterday we looked at water and how the stillness of water. Today we got into the, say, deep space and witnessed a silence of deep space. So all these exercises to just relate and make you understand that there is a space of absolute stillness and absolute silence. So keep that space within you. With that awareness, you can carry on with your life today. And throughout the day, whenever you feel little agitated, just try to go back to that stillness. And that's a way of constant reminder for you to be and who you are, to realize who you are, truly are. So with that, we come to an end of this session today. We are 7:40. And now, before you guys, before we move to the Q&A, I quickly want to check with you, how many of you are comfortable with weekend sessions as well? Because tomorrow, day after being Saturday, Sunday. So you can, if you don't mind, You can quickly take the chat window and say yes or no. So we can quickly know how many of you are okay with the weekend, that is Saturday, Sunday. And the other thing is, there is Diwali is also coming right around the corner. So I'm not sure when, but then if you're okay, we can have the class as well. So let me just wait for your answers. And I'll also ask you in the WhatsApp group. So with that, let's end the session today. And if you have any Q&A, it's open right now. And if you want to share your experience also, it is open. So you can share your experience, anything. It's for good, for not good, whatever you felt, you can share it. You can ask questions. It's open right now. Anybody? Nobody want to share?
Hi Karthik, Sucharita here.
Hey, Sucharita.
Good morning, everyone. For me today, it was really good. I, uh, I was really away, which doesn't generally happen when it comes to this cosmos visualization. So I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling it in my entire body, and I'm because when I started off, I'm just making a few decisions in my life right now with respect to work and a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
So when we started and you said if there are thoughts coming, let that be, and I was like, am I supposed to be still with that thought on? And I was like, okay, let me just go with the process, because that's what I'm trying to find when we talk about inner stillness, what exactly it is, and where it leads us. At the same time, like you also explained on the first day, that do not force yourself, don't will yourself into it, let that be a flow. So that's the reason a lot of times I just believe in listening to what all people have to say who perhaps would have experienced it, because it's not an easy space. All of us, we are trying to create something all the time, and we are expected to create, and it's an exhausting process. So
Sure.
it was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sucharita. Yes. Anyone else want to share? Or if you have any questions, you can ask. If not, we can end the session today.
I
Okay,
just had
Shibani.
a thought,
Yeah.
because when you took us through the visualization process, I'm sure we all had different takeaways from that. But the very reason why we are here is because we're all looking at that for that inner stillness and
True.
being in that state of being inert, and not
True.
being reactive. This was just my personal thought, my takeaway for the
Mm-hmm.
day, that perhaps I can stay with that feeling of being in that dark space in the universe
True.
and recognize that when 99.99% of me is empty, which also means it's a space of pure potentiality,
Sure. True. It
and I
is.
can, yeah, and I can stay there today and very technically analyze the external triggers or the circumstances or happenings today, and then make a very conscious choice in terms of my reaction. Because,
Right.
like I said, that empty space is pure potentiality. So I can either choose to
True.
remain still, or I can react. And maybe it'll help us look within ourselves and see how we choose. Like they say, you're not what happened to you, you are what the way you reacted.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it can bring home a certain realization by the end of the day that, okay, this happened, this is how I reacted. This
Mm-hmm.
is how I could have reacted, or I'm happy with the way I reacted.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be that can set a precedent for us to start um, perhaps changing the way we react to certain
True.
situations, and which can eventually lead to, say, 1% of inner stillness. This was just my thought. That's what I was noting, that this is what I'm going to do. And of course, you can build it further by body purgation and creating that space of your potentiality, and then start manifesting using breath. This was my interpretation and how I would like to imbibe this into my day to day.
Perfect, Shivani. And that is the whole idea as well. If you look at what I said in the day one, from the state of stillness, it is not letting go of everything and then living only there. It is a responsibility. I just mentioned the word called responsibility. That is your ability to respond to every stimulus in the whole world. The outside situation can be anything that coming at you, but how you handle gracefully, with gently, that's possible. Then how you approach it in a way that is in a graceful way, right? That can come from being from the inner stillness. Every decision that you make, every choices you make can come from that place. So
Exactly.
there is no more rage or no more anger. There is no the extreme negative thoughts or emotion. Rather, the insignificant part of the whole life. There is no more ego. There is no more self. There is no more other person. There is just you, manifestation in every single form. And you
Exactly.
eventually, you will also start seeing the other person is nothing but a reflection of your own self,
Exactly. The
right?
matrix. Yes.
Right, so you start seeing that, but that didn't see, it all is the awareness itself as an idea or the concept. It is much beyond things, so the awareness, that's what I don't generally relate myself as a, say, I'm a spiritual person, because the spirituality as a term also comes with lot of things. Rather, I
Exactly.
prefer myself say that I'm self-aware person, I'm conscious
Beautiful.
person, conscious being.
Beautiful.
That's all I
Absolutely.
relate to. I don't rely on more of practices rather, right? No, I have to do this, that. If not, then I will not this. No,
True.
it is just that I am aware of who I am. That's all it is.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But
So
this
yes,
was really
Kushal,
powerful. It felt good.
thank you, Shubhani. Kushal, do you want to say anything? I see that you're unmuted, so
Yeah, so Karthik, I just wanted to ask you one thing. So
sure.
when you said that expand your consciousness and then you manifest.
Yes,
So which means that when you say manifest, is that like we whatever we are looking for, we need to kind of think about it, or I mean it's not clear at that point. Like when you say manifest, what is that manifest?
it is anything that you want, Kushal. Right? So when I say that you are the eternal force that you can manifest anything in this world, there
Okay.
is no limitation to it, right? There is no absolute limitation of whether you want to manifest become a planet. Though in that context, what I said, it was about the planet and stars and entire the manifestation of the whole cosmos. There also it can be your own things, like what you want in your life can also be manifested, right?
Okay.
So
You mean
what
to say that what I'm looking for right now, or because there are many things, so how do we get narrowed down to, oh,
the whole point is, see, we all look for many things, but there
right,
are only few things that, yesterday I was telling someone, so whatever we are seeking, it's already seeking us. What you're seeking is already seeking you. It is just that sometimes we get carried away with a lot of other things that we believe that is what we want, but then that may not be the thing that really we want. The deep inside you, it may not be, or it may be something else. So I don't want to take it very abstract in nature. I understand from where you're asking is, it's primarily wanted to manifest in terms of the materialistic aspects of life as well. Is it right, Kushan?
yeah, not just materialistic, but sometimes, just to be peace or just to be calm.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, but you are sometimes confused. Should I look for that, or look for materialistic, or look for better pay? Like, there are so many things that comes to mind when you say manifest.
All
So
right.
I think first we need to be very clear of what we want. Then
Okay.
it becomes very easier to manifest. So because at that time when you say manifest, or boss, what do you want actually now? I start thinking about that.
Okay, got it. I'm sorry for that. So generally, its manifestation is at that moment you're creating everything around in the whole universe. I'll quickly wanted to what you rightly said is whether to manifest in a materialistic way or a spiritual way or ascension way. The Holy Cross, right? The Christian Holy Cross, what you talk about. People sometimes refer to that. The horizontal line, it is the materialistic accomplishment that what we want. And the vertical line, what you see, like the cross, like, like this
Mhm.
horizontal one is primarily materialistic aspirations. And the ascension, which you're going upwards, it is a spiritual aspiration, or you're ascending into much more of conscious and aware being. So it is both. And I always looked at myself as, where am I? I ask the same question. And I see that there's an interjunction, right? There is a place where both intersect. Like
Mhm.
I am there. I not don't want to give up on my whole life saying that I don't want nothing physical pleasure or money or anything. I don't want to give up anything in my life. This life is meant for me to experience. That is the absolute need for it. At the
Got it.
same time, it is also important for me to have a higher consciousness or awareness in the per se. So I am in that intersection. I don't want to go either too wide and then I spread myself thin with materialistic aspiration, or I don't want to renounce everything and then become a monk or something. Neither of
Got it. Got it. Okay. And coming to today's class, Karthik, for me it was more like, whenever you talk about the cosmic, I think of the interstellar moment.
them. Okay.
So I know that movie comes to my mind, and then we go into space and then
Mhm.
galaxy.
Mhm.
So for me, it was that moment, Karthik.
Perfect.
It's
Perfect.
good.
Glad. And yeah, today also, like, we are like beyond our the time limit. But then I think it's okay with you guys. I'm really sorry. I'm just trying my best to, like, make it as much compact as possible. And that's why, like, today I had so many things to share, but then I'm just cutting myself down. No information, no information. Bring it to one simple thing, stillness, nothing else. So I'm trying my best. And I'm sorry if I took a lot of your time. I'm sorry for it. And be with the state and have a wonderful day ahead of you. If you have any question, post it on the WhatsApp group. I'll quickly check for the tomorrow's class and let's connect there and take it forward. All right.
All right, then. Thank you so
Super.
much for
So
the
have a
class.
wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here.
Have a fantastic day.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.